Today then in Focus, we're tackling the problem of radicalisation. Radicalisation, in fact, in prisons. Now, France is planning to try to tackle the problem by setting aside designated wards for inmates at risk of radicalisation. One of a raft of reforms, really, aimed at defeating terrorism after the attacks here in Paris in January that killed 17, of course. As Phoebe Lanza-Wood reports, though, some prison chaplains warning against targeting Muslim prisoners.
Deep in the heart of the mountainous Morvan region, Amar Maresh is training to become an imam. 4 years ago, he left his home in eastern France to embark on his journey to study Islam.
I noticed that there aren't enough imams, people trained for our Muslim community here. I decided to go to this school because it's in France, so it's in a European environment. It's in a context that still incorporates French history.
At first, Amar wanted to preach in prisons, but the low pay and difficult working conditions 182 Muslim chaplains in more than 200 jails across France deal with wasn't an attractive option.
In this role, I'd have to work longer hours. I'd need to have space to accommodate more prisoners, to talk to them, to have a close and honest relationship with them, and to be able to explain common sense and the right balance of religion. All that demands more from a person, more time, and therefore more resources.
Amar is just one of more than 200 students from across Europe training to become imams at this institute. As well as Arabic and Muslim theology, they have to study French law. The course lasts a lengthy 7 years, and only a handful of the students will go on to become prison chaplains, leaving a vacuum to be filled by radical ideas.
There's been a phenomenon in recent years, something that I call Islam by reaction. It relates to Muslims who have never practiced Islam before, or recent converts. How do they know what Islam really is? And they're the ones who carry out jihad. So what is jihad? It's something very special that's not for everyone. There are very strict rules. At our institute, students don't learn about it until the end of the 3rd year.
Since the Paris terror attacks in January, the French government has been working on a plan to combat radicalisation in prisons. There's support to increase the number of Muslim chaplains, but a proposal to set aside prison wards for inmates at risk of radicalisation has generated controversy. Jean-Jacques Pierre-Joseph has been a prison chaplain for nearly 20 years. He's come to the institute to talk about his experiences. For him, radicalisation in prisons is a way of positioning oneself against the system, detached from religion. Isolation is therefore no solution to the problem.
You can't say we want to promote unity and we want to integrate people while pushing them to the margin. We've already had problems with urban planning, with family life, the economy, the gap between the rich and the poor. If we add the problem of being Muslim, we place stigma upon stigma, and I don't think that's the best solution.
According to the Ministry of Justice, 283 people in France are currently being detained for terrorism-related offences. And the threat posed by radicalised prisoners is more real than ever.